Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about budgeting. I know this is not a fun topic, but I am really bad at this, so I've been thinking about it a lot lately. But even though it's not fun, just know from the start that if you budget well, then you can get this and this and this and all this stuff without using other people's money and without the stress of taking loans and borrowing money. So let's get into it. Firstly, I just want to give you a brief history of my sort of journey with money. Um, as I said, I have been terrible with budgeting with money. I'm pretty optimistic when it comes to money, or I have been historically. I would have been very happy to take a loan, and in my head, I would have been so optimistic that down the line, I'll be able to just pay that outright because I'll have this magical amount of income that comes in. So I never really thought too much about taking loans or debt on because I thought I'd be able to sort it out. Future brand will deal with that. And this also coincided with me actually having health problems. So it was a mixture of breathing problems and mental health stuff going on. And that was over a long period of time. And the effect that had on my budget was that I didn't really actually have too much hope for the future. So when I was taking loans out, when I was getting into debt, I didn't really care because I wasn't really thinking down the line. I was just very present in the moment and not happy in the moment. And purchasing things actually took my mind off that for a bit. So it was actually through that I got into a lot of debt, and I'm still actually dealing with that. So I'm still working my way through that. I'm still sort of rectifying bad choices that I've made in the past. But what I would say is if you are going through something like that, where you're using money or purchasing, buying things to try and be happy, try and think about down the line, try and think about what your goals are, what you want to plan for. And even if you don't feel that hope or that optimism about the future, try and make choices based on your objective goals rather than how you're feeling. And I would definitely say find something you're passionate about and pursue it, because that changes a lot. If you're passionate about something, if you have a passion, you will make better choices in other areas of your life. Okay, so what choices have I made? Firstly, I started learning about how to budget. I went on a CAP course, CAP, and started to learn their method of budgeting and saving. So I did the usual income and expenditure. I looked at what I had coming in, what I had going out, and it was pretty scary. I then put things in place to start dealing with the debt that I had, and I was a bit more realistic about what I could purchase in the near future. And also I looked at what I wanted to purchase in the short, medium, long term. For this, I'll just talk about gear, but there's a lot of other stuff, more important stuff that I'm planning for and saving for. But in terms of gear, I do have a list in order of priority. So the next thing I want to get is another light. So I have that in an app, and I'm putting small amounts of money into that sort of pot. Within a few months, I'll have enough for that light, and I'll be paying for it outright without having any stress of using money that I don't have. So I looked at my income and expenditure. I looked at what major costs I had coming up in the future, and I looked at how I wanted to grow my business and my gear and all of that. So I incorporated all that into my expenditure, and I basically set aside a certain amount every month for, say, the light, for a new camera down the line, for lens. So there's a pot building for each of those things. So in terms of daily life, I've worked out a certain amount that I can spend on food, petrol, all this sort of daily items. I've got an actual amount that I have per week. So I put that in the app, and for every expense, I just log that in the app, and it comes off the weekly amount. So I know, and I'm a bit more aware of what I'm spending. I've been very surprised at how much I spend on silly things that I don't need, that aren't actually costing that much, but over the course of a week, a month, they are adding up. And that's money that can be going into other savings. So if you are struggling financially, do know that every situation can be sorted out. If you're feeling overwhelmed, the chances are you're not actually looking or making any choices in regards to your finances. You're just trying to hide it. which is what I did. Just make that decision to have a look at your income and expenditure, see where you're actually at realistically. And then if you do need help, there are organizations that will deal with your creditors, that will come up with a monthly budget for yourself. You are entitled to eat well, to live well, to have shelter, so you're not going to go without any of those things. You can rectify the situation you're in. If you're not struggling financially, you probably already are budgeting well, but look at it to continually come back to it because things change. Save well, always have that safety net of savings in case a camera breaks, a lens breaks, something comes up where you need a big purchase. It's good to have that because if not, you'll need to either go without or go into debt, and neither of those options are good. So again, I know this is not a fun topic, but it's so important, especially if you're running your own business and just in life in general. So do think about it, and do think about it regularly. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.